I'd make some quip about loving the smell of dead Metroids in the morning, but to be fair, I don't know if it's morning or afternoon on this planet. Hell, considering how much time we generally spend in caves, I'm sure Samus doesn't generally get to see the sun when she's doing a mission this intensive anyway. As a side note, I'm more than a little pissed that the Grey Door didn't unlock when we've slaughtered every Metroid in this section of the bloody caves here. I mean, seriously? Just what the hell unlocks that thing anyway? Because I severely doubt we're ever gonna have a reason to backtrack to this particular section of the planet again. Okay, didn't hear anything that could be that door's shield suddenly becoming vulnerable. I know, we already tried clearing the room before trying to get through that door before. I think I've made it pretty clear I sometimes check things rather thoroughly in case I somehow manage to miss something. Though in hindsight, it looks like I have a thing for just smacking against walls and somehow expecting different results from the exact same actions. Okay, doesn't matter the method I try to use to climb. I just stumble with high jumps and the spider bubble. Wonder how long until the screw attack comes into play as well. Nothing's faster than gravity when you want to get somewhere and it happens to be a good distance downwards. It's going up when things start getting pretty damn annoying. And great. I just had the random thought that one of these days they could have a game where you play as Ridley. Granted, Nintendo's not the kind of company that generally lets you play as the villains, and it'd probably be a major pain in the ass to come up with a similar type of level design that works for a character that can fly right from the start. Still, I like thinking about that kind of what if. And on occasion, I've wondered what a Mario game would be like if you played as, Bowser from beginning to end. Well, we haven't seen them use those legs to capture anything in this game so far. Again, I can't help feeling that the baby form of Metroid is a lot more dangerous for us than the later forms we've run into so far. Babies that we killed back in Zero Mission. So maybe they'd have worked differently and we ran into them in this game. Still, hard not to compare the most iconic Metroid form we've experienced in the previous game with the Metroid forms we're running into now, most of which will not make any other appearances outside of Metroid 2. As a side note, that is the first time I've been hit by one of those things that comes out of the ceiling. In terms of getting hurt by that or lava, I don't know what's more embarrassing. Okay, I've got no clue how I thought to jump there. That one was very well hidden. Kinda hoping we end up dealing with some of them two at a time just to save us some time searching. Not that I'm in a hurry, just that, funnily enough, killing the Metroids themselves in this game isn't as interesting as the other bosses we've run into so far. Well, they're certainly doing a great job giving each area a distinctive look. Though there's only so many different looks you can give when you're spending a vast majority of the game underground. Huh. Certainly strange to make it to the secret area before the main hall. They definitely did a good job making it hard to tell what's just another wall and what's something we can get through, that's for sure. Well, that enemy down below that pipe certainly implies we can go down there, though I'm rather tempted to hit the higher areas before heading further down. Probably because the way this game has gone so far has given me the impression that deeper into the caves we go, the more actual progress we're making. And I'd like to make sure that our back is clear as much as possible. Okay, no clue why we would want to clear out the blue pipes, especially since it doesn't look like those pipes gain us anything. Great, a speed boost puzzle. That's more annoying even when we do have the damn upgrade, much less when we don't. Okay, so apparently the blocks that looked completely the same as the ones on the floor are completely indestructible and just there to make the hallway look a little different from the others we've gone through so far. Kind of feels like they were set up there just to slow down someone who might be curious enough to check. I wouldn't really call it frustrating, but considering I'm trying to be a good deal more careful in checking our surroundings than back in Zero Mission, it's kind of messing with the confidence I'd built up over being able to tell when we can move on. Huh. It's been a surprisingly long time since enemies have spawned from pipes, considering that's a series, if not a company, tradition. And I've got to admit, this is one of the first non-important enemy types I've liked the appearance of. They kind of look like tiny missiles. Right, onward and upwards. Considering this chamber looks pretty wide open, I'm hoping it leads us to a good number of Metroids. It's amazing just how much I enjoy the atmosphere when the music sounds like that and we don't see any enemies anywhere nearby. While I wouldn't say that the fan remake of Metroid 2 has unequivocally the best atmosphere of any of the 2D games, I would certainly say it is at the very least in second place. Still, it's easy to tell why the Nintendo remake was more concerned with making the combat feel better than make the atmosphere the primary concern. Metroid 2's story and main objectives put such a focus on combat that in the fan remake, when we actually deal with the Metroids themselves, I can't help feeling disappointed, even if I didn't have too much along the lines of expectations. Probably should have looked at this particular lore entry either during or after our boss fight with him. Though considering it outright tells us how to beat it, and part of the fun is trying to figure out how to beat a boss, maybe it's a good thing I didn't check in the middle of the fight. As a side note, I was a little worried that checking the logbook while we were attached to the ceiling might make us drop as soon as I was done reading. Good to see I was worried over nothing. Great, so one path is blocked by a speed boost and the other blocked by a super missile barrier. At least we know we're due for some more upgrades soon. Huh. I think this is the first time in the series we've ever run into sand. Part of me wants to wonder why there's so much sand here. Okay, so we need gravity to get through those blocks. But how the hell are we supposed to get in there for gravity to take effect? Well, not the upgrade I was trying to get, but I certainly appreciate it a lot more. Bit annoying, but not as outright baffling as whatever's keeping us from getting that missile upgrade just outside of this darkened room. Seriously, just how the hell are we supposed to reach that missile upgrade if hitting it from above and below doesn't open up a path? Okay, a repeating enemy that's completely invulnerable to missiles and that a power beam that phases through walls will not kill. Should I be concerned about that? Part of me wants to be nervous that we found a save point here. The other just appreciates that we found one, instead of having to keep going and hope nothing interrupts gameplay. Okay. Pretty easy to deal with these things as usual, but the ground certainly makes just spraying shots around a bit less tempting. Okay, somehow wasn't expecting to find a Metroid in a shaft like this, despite the fact that we generally haven't had to move all that much to take each individual one down. Dear God, the sand just made the poor Metroid outright screwed against us. Was I meant to feel sympathy for the monsters we were specifically sent to this planet to slaughter? I'm sorry, but are some of those hostiles just spinning dumbbells? Yeah, that's a floating dumbbell, and the individual weights on it still keep attacking us when the center bar is destroyed. Again, I know the designs for the enemies don't really matter all that much, but I think I'm justified being a little baffled by some of the visual designs of the throwaway enemies around here. I don't care that they're supposed to be robots. That doesn't make sense as something attacking us. Well, this room is a little different from the usual ones we've gotten upgrades in. Probably to give us more room to build up momentum for the boost. Huh. For some reason I thought the boost would let us zip through these walls. And it looks like those robots just behind these barriers can certainly take a beating. curious why sometimes the wall-phasing beam reveals what we need to break through a wall, and other times it doesn't. It's those kinds of minor inconsistencies that can throw you off unexpectedly. Right. Should have jumped a bit sooner than that. God damn it. Of all the things, why did it have to be a conveyor belt? I'm sorry, but that sort of thing is part of the reason why I never really got into 2D platformers as a kid. Sure, it's not an especially complicated issue for us to move on from, but still... Ugh. Okay. No clue how we're supposed to move around those spikes. Definitely feels like we need some fresh upgrade to climb up this shaft. Bloody hell. An upgrade that requires some reasonable skill with the speed booster. Seriously, I don't see how I'm gonna get a boosted jump to that specific spot. Not with my questionable precision for jumping in general. Come to think of it, maybe a boosted jump straight up is the way we're supposed to head upwards in here? Nah, can't be the case. Not with the way those spikes are aligned, at least. Well, that certainly didn't go how I imagined it would. Far too many boost-related things to do in a short period of time, especially considering how much I don't like that particular upgrade. I know, technically that's more of a me problem than a problem with the game's design. It's probably a waste of time for me to be pulling back around now, but I can't help feeling that we might be able to make more progress in some other hallways faster than it'd take for me to force my way through the crap we have to deal with over here. Granted, we're very likely to need to come back this way again, but still. Yeah. Definitely gonna have to go to that annoying collection of barriers on the right eventually, even if I do manage to find some more unexplored areas out here. Kinda wishing we had some means to see where breakable blocks are, other than just feeling out for them. Not that it really helps when the barrier turns out to be something I'm either unwilling or unable to break through. Part of me wants to say that's an odd place for a turret. The other can't help thinking, with everything else odd we've been dealing with this far in, that I shouldn't give a damn just how odd things might feel. Seriously, when you're getting assaulted by floating dumbbells, I don't think it really matters where the stationary turrets have been set up, or what they might have originally been meant to deal with on a planet where everything wants us dead. At the very least, it feels like in this game it's far easier for me to just trade hits and let the enemies pound on us, and still come out on top. Funny how I'm more careful than I was in Zero Mission, when in Zero Mission, That was when I needed to be a hell of a lot more careful. Seriously, the enemy doesn't seem to hit us as hard, and it feels like we've been seeing fewer environmental dangers than we did in the previous game. Though we're still relatively early in the game at this point, and I'm sure there are still some more Metroid forms that could give us more trouble later on. Okay, just because our now wider power beam means we don't have to be as accurate, doesn't mean we shouldn't try to aim. Though, Zero Mission, this game, Super Metroid, and Metroid Fusion all give us a kinda limited number of directions we can actually aim. Sure, there's more directions than the original Metroid and the original Metroid to allow the player to aim, but still. Maybe I'm just too spoiled by all the 3D shooters I generally play.